What's good, YouTube? We back with another video, and today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to get more swing in your beats. People like Dilla and Dibiase tend to have crazy amounts of swing in their beats, and it always sounds good. So my goal with this video is to show you guys how you can do the same thing and hopefully improve the quality of your beats. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so as you can see, we're on Serato Studio, and let me just give you a preview of the way my drums sound right now. So them drums right there, they swing and they sound pretty good. And so the first thing that I'm going to be talking about, you guys, is hi-hats. Hi-hats are super important when it comes to swing. They're kind of what guides the drums and the beat as a whole. And yeah, so let's get into this. So I'm at a BPM of 72, as you can see. And these hi-hats, they're not really off beat. All swing is taking certain parts of your beat and making it slightly offbeat, whether if it's ahead of the tempo or behind the tempo. So these hi-hats, they're not really offbeat. So let me show you how they sound. We're gonna play the metronome, and you're gonna get a good idea of what I'm talking about. So if you listen real closely, the metronome kind of plays before the hi-hat, and that gives it like a that's basically swing. So let me slow it down, and you'll be able to hear it a lot more dramatically. So as you can see, the hi-hats aren't quantized. None of these drums on here are quantized. I played all of these drums by hand, so that's also very important. You can program the drums in and, you know, put it in and then move it around, but you see, that's not very optimal. It's going to have swing, but it's not going to have a natural feel to it at the same time. So let's go ahead and fix this BPM. And the next part of the drums, when it comes to having swing, that is almost just as important, is the snare. One thing that I always do when I'm programming my drums and I want to have crazy amounts of swing is I play the snare ahead of the 2 and the 4. So, you know, you always got snares on the 2 and the 4, but I don't put it exactly on the 2 and the 4. I usually put the snare a little bit ahead of the 2 and the 4. So let me show you what I mean with that. So we're going to play that by itself with the metronome going. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit for you guys. So and you can hear the snare is a little bit ahead of the metronome. It's not exactly on it, and it's not, you know, too much ahead of it. It's just, you know, just by a small bit. So with the hi-hats and the snare, it's gonna all fall together. If it sounded kind of like boo-boo just now, and you didn't really know what to listen for, listen when it has the snare and the hi-hat playing with the metronome. See, it still sounds a little bit crazy, but once we get the kick going, it's going to all fall together, and you'll see what I mean. Speaking of the kick, one thing that I always do when programming my drums, or I wouldn't say always, I actually just started doing this consistently, but I don't put the kick on the 1. Okay, so this is where the 1 would usually be at. This is where the kick would usually be at. And, you know, bam, it's on the 1. What I've been doing is I've been putting it behind the 4, right before the 1. What this does is the kick plays ahead of the hi-hat. It plays ahead of the hi-hat, and it kind of gives it like this layer feeling. So you'll hear the kick, then you'll hear the hi-hat. Same thing with this snare right here. If you look really closely, this snare is ahead of the hi-hat. So whenever this part plays, or whenever this part or this part plays, it's going to sound like a layer, and it's going to sound like a little bit bouncy, and, you know, that's the swing. That's what you're hearing. That's what you're feeling. So let me play it all together, and let me show you what I mean. So as you can see, them drums are swinging. All right. One thing that I also do is I typically, since I'm on Serato Studio, I actually apply even more swing right here. So as you can see, this says swing, and what I do is I put it to around 12 to 14%. Nothing too crazy. You don't want to have 100% swing because then it's just going to be off rhythm. So usually I add about 14% swing, and that tops off my drums. So let me show you how it sounds with the sample. So that's how I program my drums, okay? I usually always play it by hand. Rarely do I ever, go ahead and program it and then move it around because it just doesn't have the same feel. Whenever you play drums by hand, it has a much more natural sound to it. So this is going to be the most important part when it comes to swing, your drums. Drums are going to be like the backbone for swing. But that's not the only thing that is required for your beat to have swing. Another thing that people don't really take into consideration is sidechain. So right here, actually I don't have a sidechain channel on this beat, but if you have a sidechain channel, so go ahead and get you a compressor if you're on Ableton, or go ahead and get you a sidechain on Serato. Bump that up, and it's going to be connected to the kick. So what this does is whenever the kick plays, the sample ducks a little bit. So that's what sidechain does. Whenever this sound plays, the sample ducks a little bit, and it's gonna just put a little bit more emphasis on the kick drum and make it sound like it hits harder. Now what this does for swing is this makes the beat sound bouncy. It makes it feel like the kick is revolving around it makes it sound like the beat is revolving around the kick drum. So add you a little bit of sidechain, and it's gonna give your beat that bounce to it. All right. So let me show you how that sounds. Now be careful though, because you can have too much sidechain. All right. It's gonna be so much to where the sample is basically getting muted whenever the kick plays because it's just so much sidechain. So you just want to sprinkle it around, all right? You don't want to have too much, or you don't want to have too little because nobody's going to notice it. You just want to have just enough to where it'll complement the drums. Next thing, when it comes to having swing on your beat, all right? One thing that not many people talk about is your bass line. So if you got you a nice little bass line, that's cool. But whenever I'm making my beats, I typically don't want my bass lines to be exactly on beat with everything. I typically have the bass line a little bit behind the drums. So let me show you what I mean with that. So I got what's called on here a subsequent bass. Okay, if you're on Ableton, it'll just be like a regular sine, or if you have the operator, just put the operator and it's going to be the same exact sound. So let me show you guys what I mean when I say swing with the bass. All right. So what I was doing right there is I was playing a nice little bass line, but if you listen real closely, I play the bass line whenever the kick plays, and I also play it in between the kick. So it'll be like just a little like ghost notes. So let me see, I'm gonna just play the bass line. So I'm playing just little ghost notes. Or I can play whenever the kick plays. Boom. I typically, if you pay attention, I play a bass note on the 1. So boom, and then I'll play. So that's just a little technique that I use, and I typically have the bass line behind the kick. All right, you don't want to have it before the kick or exactly on the kick, because it's just not gonna have as much swing, guys. It's hard to explain when you're talking about music and stuff, but yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about that, man. I don't know how to put it into words. Just simply try to have your bass lines playing a little bit behind tempo, all right? Not too much, though. Not to where people are like, damn, man, this bass line is off tempo. Just, just sprinkle it in a little bit, man. That's all you need to do. That's what all of this is. All of this is, when it comes to the drums, I'm sprinkling in these little off tempo, drums. I'm not, making it crazy and putting the snare all the way right here and putting the kick all the way back here before the 1. Just put it a little bit before the 1. Put the hi-hats a little bit off tempo. Ain't gotta be nothing crazy. Sprinkle in a little bit of swing right there. Don't overdo it. You feel me? Because if you overdo it, it's just gonna sound like crap. All right. When you sprinkle it in, it adds up, and then it sounds good. So the last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to swing, which I should have mentioned earlier, is little ghost notes. All right. So let me show you what I mean by that. So you have the kick. The kick is very important because the kick is pretty much the backbone behind the hi-hats, because those carry the beat. But the kick is what really gives the beat, that beat to it. All right, so let me show you what I mean. If I didn't have this note right here, it wouldn't sound the same. Okay, but once you add that little ghost note, then it kind of has a little bit more character to it. All right. Another example I can show you guys is, actually, here, this is perfect. Let me show you guys how I can make some drums real quick with swing. I'm not even gonna play it by hand. I'm gonna just program these drums, and then I'm gonna just show you guys exactly what I'm doing. So I'm not gonna use this, all right, because right here on Serato, I can't move around the drum. So if I put this here, I can't nudge it to the side or nothing. It's going to stay there. So that's why I always play my drums by hand on Serato. But let me go down here. You see, if you're on Serato Studio, just go down here. Put you some drum sounds as sample channels. Okay? And then whenever you program it, you can put it down and you can move it to the side. Simple. Dibiase put me on that trick. I don't want to take credit for that. Shout out to Dibiase. So let's just go ahead and program some drums. We're going to speed up the BPM, all right, to around 77. And then watch this. So a hi-hat right there and a hi-hat right there. Okay. A basic little hi-hat pattern, all right? So let me show you how this sounds. Doesn't sound that good. Now let me sprinkle in some swing to it. So I'm going to highlight every other hi-hat. Okay. Oh my God, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now I'm gonna move it over to the side, just a little bit though, not too much. Okay. You can't really see it because let me raise this up. So as you see, I'm just moving it a little bit to the side. All right. Now listen. A little bit, just subtle. Let's add a little bit of swing right there. 8%, that's enough. The snare, remember what I said on the 2 and the 4, but put it in front of the 2 and the 4. So bam, like that. Okay, that might be too much, that might be too little. We'll find out right now. It's a little bit. Let me add a little bit more though. It can go a little bit more without sounding too crazy, like that. All right, there you go. Now we got that layering sound that I told you guys about. So you hear the snare first, then you hear the hi-hat. Now let's get some kicks in there. Boom, boom. All right, simple. Boom, boom. And now let's see. Okay, so we got 2 kicks in there. They're still on the grid. They're still quantized. So let's move them over a little bit. We're going to move this one right here. Bam. We're going to move this one just a tad bit. Not too much. Not too much. So let's see. Alright, that sounds cool, but it sounds plain. Now this is where those ghost notes come in at. Alright, so let's see. We're going to add one right here. And let's see what that do. We're going to move it over to the right just a little bit. And let's see. I can add another ghost note right here. Well, this isn't really a ghost note. If you really want to get crazy, add another ghost note. Alright, we'll rock with that. Just, you know, just because. Let's get a little bit weird. Alright. Now, since these are ghost notes, I don't want them to be playing full blast. So I'm going to lower this one to about 50. And we're going to lower this one to about 50. But since I got this 404 compressor going on right now, it might still be loud. So let's see. Yeah. So we gotta lower it a little bit. If we can't, you know, get the sound we're looking for, we're not gonna stress it. We're just gonna work with what we got. So let's see. Let's go to 20, around 20. There we go. Okay. So we got a nice little drum pattern. If you want to get even crazier, okay, you can add ghost notes for your hi-hats, alright? Now check this out. I had to play it by hand, but I'm going to try to do it by programming it. Okay, we're gonna add a little note right there. Lower it down to about 20. It's not going, so let's go. Yeah, y'all hear that? I'm not making this up. Y'all hear the swing in this. Okay, now let's go ahead and get a sample. Or get this sample playing. Alright. Okay, we're gonna record that. We're gonna put a little filter on it. Look, this turned into a microwave beat tutorial. Or just a little microwave beat. So let's see. Oh man, I forgot to make it 2 bars, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we got what we wanted. Since we duplicated it on Serato, it automatically duplicated the first bar, so let's go ahead and delete that, and then this is what we got. Let's add a bassline. Let's add a bassline, alright? Y'all remember that? So let's see. Let's see. Alright, let's see. We're gonna delete that that first little accent. Alright, we got it. Look, we got it right there. I'm not gonna add too much to this beat because I don't want the video to be too long. But y'all get the idea, okay? Now let's go ahead and summarize it. Let's go over all the tips I told you guys. Oh wait, we ain't even at the sidechain. Oh wait, it's already on there. Never mind, I'm tripping. All right. So let's go over all the things that I told you guys. Hi-hats, all right? We're not gonna move these over too much, all right? We're just gonna move a few of them over, all right? We don't want it to be too offbeat because, like I said, this is gonna carry the beat. This is what plays the most throughout the beat. This sound right here, this little plays the most out of everything in this beat. So we don't want that to be too off tempo. All right. Now the snares. We want the snares to be a little bit ahead of the hi-hat. You can see it right there. It triggers right there, then the hi-hat plays. Triggers right there, then the hi-hat plays. Alright? So the snares, always put them before the 2 and the 4. Not too much though. Don't go crazy, alright, man? Gonna be sounding too abstract. And then we got the kick drum, alright? I didn't even do the other thing I told you about where I add the kick drum right here, because I usually do that when I play it by hand, alright? It's just like something that comes natural to me. Sometimes I just naturally play it a little bit too early, but it sounds good, so I do it. But we didn't do that for this little microwave beat. So like I said, with the kick, put it down, bam, on the 1, move a little bit over. And then, you know, you got the other ones, we moved those over as well, and we added some ghost notes, alright? Them ghost notes is what topped it off. Once we added those ghost notes, the kick drum stopped sounding so plain. The drums sounded good, alright? When we got the sample, we got the sidechain, alright? You don't got to worry too much with the sample. You know, you can have that exactly on bar. It can be perfectly quantized. As long as them drums is swinging, then your beat is going to sound, you know, it's going to sound fine. And then we got the bass, alright? Take a look right here. Remember I played that bass line by hand. The bass is after the kick. Wait, no, this is the kick. The bass is after the kick, alright? Like I said, don't play the bass exactly on the kick. It's not going to sound as good. So, boom, bass, boom, bass, boom, bass, boom, bass, right there. Y'all see it, man. I'm just putting y'all on what I do. This is what I do all the time. I do it so much that I forgot to mention it when I was doing it. But, yeah, this is how you get swing. This is how I do my swing, okay? I don't know how Dilla did it. I'm not too sure on how Dibiase does it anymore. I remember he showed me a few years ago, but, you know, people change. You know, people develop new techniques and, you know, different styles. I'm not trying to copy his style. I'm not trying to copy his J Dilla style. I'm trying to make my own technique, and I'm just putting you guys on, you know? I'm not scared to show y'all my secrets because, you know, it's not like, you know, I'm not against y'all, man. I'm with y'all. So that's going to be this video, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And, yeah, let's go ahead and do that outro. All right, man, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys learned something new, all right? I love making music. I'm sure you guys love making music as well. And if I can do something to help you guys enjoy that process just a little bit more, then I'm more than happy to do that for you guys. But with that being said, I also want to tell you guys, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. The other day, I did a poll just to see what you guys want to watch. Did you guys want to watch a video about me showing you guys how to get swing, or did you guys want to watch a video on a few secrets I have on Serato Studio? And everybody voted for this video. So with that being said, check out my Instagram. You know, I post tons of music on there, and that's where you guys will be the most updated. But yeah, man, we're gonna wrap this video up. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Please help me out. I'm trying to reach 700 subscribers this month. I'm trying to set goals for myself just to stay on track. And, you know, just help me out with that, man. Just so if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe. But with that being said, peace out, y'all.